Well, 20.2 got announced, and let me just say this right now. It started out with a bang.
3, 2, 1. Yep, go.
Personally, I thought that was super awkward. All right, we're back, 20.2. Who's excited? Yeah, that was about the same enthusiasm that the crowd in Australia showed.
Go. Off and racing for 20.2.
That was hilarious. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to talk about a couple different subjects real briefly. Number one is your jump rope, okay? My thoughts to you are use a jump rope you've been using and don't change anything on it, right? So if you've got a jump rope, don't change it overnight, because if you watch the athletes, like Matt McLeod had a very in-close grip on his jump rope. He was really smooth, very efficient. Whereas Con Porter's hands were a little lot wider. That's just personal preference. Obviously, having your hands in closer is more efficient and is a little bit faster because you can shorten the distance the rope goes and your RPMs go up. Obviously, Con Porter's also a bigger athlete. But what I'm trying to say to you is don't change anything the night before you do it just because you want to be like, I want to be like Matt McLeod and have a faster jump rope. Stick to a regular jump rope. Also, you're not going to learn how to do double unders by tonight. So if you guys are still learning how to do double unders, I'm sorry. I love you. I don't have a whole lot of faith in you, though. It's probably not going to happen. Okay? So, jump rope. Number two, hands. Again, it's kind of going back to jump rope, is there's a lot of toes to the bar in this workout. There's a lot of toes to the bar in this workout. I mean, if you get a lot of rounds like Matt McLeod, which you may or may not, but still, it's a lot of toes to the bar. So, prepare your hands for it. Treat them tonight or the night before the competition. Make sure you shave off some calluses, treat them with respect, put some Mary Kay on them, lotion them up, and get them prepared that it's going to suck. If you also noticed, I think Con Porter used grips and Matt McLeod didn't use grips. Now, don't look at the competition and think, oh, because Matt McLeod didn't use grips, I don't have to use grips either. If you use grips, kind of like the jump rope, don't change anything now. If you use grips, use grips. If you don't use grips, don't use grips. Some guys don't like to use them. Matt McLeod is one of them. Cole Sager is one of them. And that's completely fine. That's what they prefer. Is it a little bit faster? Maybe. You don't have to think about moving your grips around and kind of changing them in your double unders. That's just my thoughts on it, okay? Those are hands. Treat them with respect. Prepare for the fact that they're probably going to hurt. If you're going to want to redo this, you're going to have to have good hands at the end of this. So don't destroy your hands and then think, oh, I'm going to do a redo tomorrow. Your hands are going to hurt. Number three, transitions, okay? In 20.1, transitions were pretty much non-existent, right? You got done with the thrusters, you dropped to the ground, you started doing burpees, you got done with your burpees, you maybe took a second rest and then you grabbed the bar again. There was pretty much no transitions. This workout, there are going to be transitions because it's 20 minutes long. So what the idea behind transitions is two things. Number one, you can pick it up or you can jump to the bar. And what I'm trying to say is, you might be thinking, okay, I'm going to kind of walk over to the bar, which is fine. They walked in the event announcement, walk to the bar, but don't sit underneath the bar and think, man, that's a really far way to jump. I'm not sure if I can jump that high. I'm going to take a second. You can do it. You're not that tired that you can't jump to the toes bar and at least knock out a few reps. You might be learning toes bar, so doing 6 unbroken might be out of your wheelhouse, but that's fine. But when you get to the pull-up bar, you can at least jump to it and do a couple reps. And the same concept can be said for the jump rope. You get done with the toes to the bar and you walk over to the jump rope, don't stand next to the jump rope. You can pick it up and you can at least start, right? You may not finish the 24 unbroken, but you can at least start it. Same thing for the thrusters, though I think you should do the thrusters unbroken. Okay, that's transitions. Number one. The second part about transition is chalk. You probably don't need chalk in this workout. Don't waste your time getting chalk. If you do have to get chalk, which I probably will do because I'll probably waste time, is have planned chalk rest. So if it's every 5 rounds is perfect. Have planned chalk rest. Don't make the chalk so easily accessible that every round you're like, oh, look at me, I'm going to chalk up every single round. That's a waste of time. Okay, let's now get into the actual movements. Thrusters. It's dumbbell thrusters. There's only 4 of them, right? should be unbroken. I don't know the scale for this, so if you're asking me, what's the scale for it? I have no idea what the scale is. My one concept for thrusters, though, is you should be unbroken, and when you get done with the thrusters, and your affiliate owner is gonna super appreciate this when they see this, is don't ghost your dumbbells, right? From the top, obviously you're probably not gonna ghost your dumbbells, but don't even ghost them from like the hips or even the knees, right? Set them down nicely. And the reason being, if you set them down nicely, you know where you left them at. So they're not gonna walk away unless you have really special walking, talking, living dumbbells, which that'd be cool, but I don't think they exist. So if you set them down, you know where they're at, right? Because if you throw them down or drop them down and they roll around, when you come back for the next round, it's gonna be a pain to set them up. It might be you might be tempted to drop them and be like, oh yeah, that was nice. I got a couple seconds rest and I have to bend over and put them down. But then when you come back, you're gonna waste time having to reset your dumbbells and make sure they're in the right spot. So it's easier if you just set them down, okay? Toes to bar. There are obviously two ways of doing toes to the bar. I believe there's probably like a butterfly way, but whatever. There's two good ways of doing toes to bar, and you actually saw it perfectly laid out tonight in that video. Number one, you saw a very long gymnastics kip, a very deep arch position, and you could see it hollow position. And that's what Con Porter did, right? He did a very deep arch position, right? And then essentially a long kip swing, right? A long gymnastic swing. And that's fine. I do that all the time in workouts. The other option is a very shortened swing. It still meets the standard, but it's a very short with a quick kick to the top of the rings or the bar. And that's exactly what Matt McLeod did. And the differences between them are the speed of rep, right? So the gymnastics kip is longer. It's a long kip, which longer, obviously, it's gonna take a little longer, and that's fine. And Matt McLeod's quicker kick is quicker per rep. But the question is, like, what have you practiced and where are you gonna blow up at, right? So as an athlete, you should be able to do both. Like I practice both. I should be able to do a long kip and I should be able to do a very short, snappy kick. But there's a time and a place for every workout, right? So if you came to me and you said, hey Jacob, let's do 40 toes to bar for time, right? Or maybe more. Maybe like let's do 60 toes to bar for time. I might have a long kip because I know that I don't have it in me to do very short reps for 60 reps. But I might have a longer kip that, while I might be a little slower in the beginning, might help me pace it out more. This is a little bit different, right? So it's 6 reps per round. So the question that you might be having is, what have you practiced? If you've practiced a short kick, then don't change anything, stick to it. If you practice a very long gymnastic kick, stick to it. If you know how to do both, then keep that in your back pocket, right? So you might, in the beginning rounds, you might actually be able to do a long kip. Keep a short kip, but then it might have to change to a longer kip because your core goes out or your hip flexors die, and that's fine. It's nice to have in your back pocket. But there is definitely two ways of doing toes to the bar. One way is faster. If you know how to do it, I recommend it, but it is sometimes hard to keep. So that's toes to the bar, right? Double unders, like I mentioned previously, in both transitions and talking about the jump rope. If you don't know how to do double unders, now is probably, I'm not sure the scaling. I think the scaling might be singles. Don't quote me on that. Now is not the time to learn how to do double unders. That should have been done, months ago or a couple weeks ago. But now is the time to tell yourself, okay, when I'm done with the open, I'm going to focus on doing double unders, right? So now's the time. Now is not the time to learn it because don't get a jump rope tonight, come into your barn or you're outside in your garage and start knocking out, trying to do double unders. You're just going to blow your calf up and it's going to be horrible tomorrow, right? So double unders, if you have them, great. If you don't, now's not the time to learn it. It's probably going to have to suffer and wait for another year to come back next open for it, okay? But for double unders, obviously they should be unbroken. And if you can keep your hands in and keep them close and tight like Matt McLeod did, that's the money maker. And then it should be a rest movement, right? In this workout, there's not a whole lot of rest at all. The transitions are pretty quick, or they should be quick. And so your rest should be in your double unders. That's the movement where you're probably gonna try and, sorry, that was a toes to the bar. I'm not sure why I was doing that. In the double unders, that's probably where you're gonna be doing your rest and taking your deep breaths. And if that means you have to go slower, right? So as an athlete, you should know possibly how to change your speed. Like if I told you do 50 double unders for time, you'd go really fast. But if I said, hey, do 50 double unders at a conservative pace, you'd be able to go a little slower, right? So in this workout, I'd recommend not like I'm attacking it for time, you know, but maybe going a little bit slower, and that's where you're gonna conserve your breath and not really make up time, but that's where you're gonna keep your heart rate low, and that's important. Okay, next up is pacing. So I took this all off Matt McLeod's, okay? I love you, Matt. Also, I didn't know who Matt McLeod was until I went to Australia this year and got whooped by him in a sanctioned event, and he's a beast. Let me just tell you right now, if you looked at him doing this workout, as soon as they announced the workout and I knew who was doing it because I was watching Con and Matt, I just knew, no, Matt's probably just frothing at the mouth because this is a workout that Matt McLeod is really, really good at. And you could see that at the games when he did Mary. Like he just absolutely crushed Mary. Anything where it's gymnastics, body weight movements for 20 minutes. You're thinking Cindy, you're thinking Mary, you're thinking this, like Matt's gonna crush it, and he did. All right, so I'm gonna write down some average splits, right? Rounds 1 through 5, he average splitted 42 seconds, right? From rounds 6 through 10, he average splits 43.2 seconds, okay? 11 through 15, almost miscounted there, he averaged 44 seconds per round. Then 16 through 20, he averaged 46.4. And then 21 through 25, he averaged 47.8. And then, you know, he got, I think it was like 26 plus some change in the round of 27. So overall, if you look at these splits right here, let's talk about, and his overall average was 46.15, right? 46.15 was his average per round pace. Honestly, when I saw this workout and they announced it, when they were warming up for it, I was like, well, first of all, I thought Matt's gonna crush this. Like Matt's gonna do great. And I told my wife, I said, you know what? I don't think they're gonna go faster. I said they might be able to do 50 seconds per round in the beginning, but I don't think they're gonna be able to keep that. And boy, oh boy, was I wrong. Like, so at 50 seconds a round, I thought it was gonna be 24 rounds. I was like, okay, anything at 24 rounds or above is gonna be impressive. And that's a score I think that is impressive. So first of all, let me caveat and say 24 plus rounds is gonna be super, super impressive. Matt McLeod is a freaking beast. So you're looking at an average of 46.15, so 46 seconds a round, and that gave him 26 rounds. I didn't think someone was gonna get that score. Probably someone's gonna end up beating this because, you know, it's not some random time in Australia, but that is really impressive to me. So let's break it down and talk about actual round splits and how you're gonna break it up. So again, I'm gonna break this down by 2-second increments, okay? 1 minute. All right, so let's break it down even more and look at this from this perspective. You might be looking at this workout and thinking, okay, I can't do Matt McLeod, or I can't do, what should I pace per round what should I look at a pace per round in order to get a certain round count? So you might have a goal in the back of your head, or you might have a round count, a time per round back of your head. So let's kind of compare the two and see how they mesh together, right? So obviously, if you go 1 minute per round, right? So I have time on the side, time per round, and then I have your round count, your total score at the end. Assuming you keep this and you don't go faster or you don't go slower, this is your average speed per round. Of course, if you go 1 minute per round, you're looking at 20 rounds. It's pretty obvious, right? I went down by 2 seconds each round to show you what they look like. And of course, I broke it out by 1 decimal point. Feel free to take that decimal point, multiply it by 48 reps per round, and you'll get your actual score. So you might be saying to yourself, okay, Matt McLeod was at 46 seconds a round, right? At 46.15. Therefore, he got a 26 rounds plus some change, which is what he got right here. That's where he was at, right? So this is Matt McLeod right here. And so you might be telling yourself, okay, well, I only want to get a good score like Jacob said. I might go for 24 rounds. Okay, then you're looking at 50 seconds a round. And that's why I said that. I thought 50 seconds was going to be a pretty good time per round. That's 24 rounds. And you might be telling yourself, okay, well, I can't do 50 seconds a round, but I think I can do 56. Or maybe you might be asking yourself, okay, well, I just want to get 21 rounds. That's one way of doing it, is just take your round you want, your goal, and figure out the time per round and kind of go from there. Or the opposite is, how fast you can go and keep, and then multiply that and figure out how many rounds you can get. So that's 20.2 in a nutshell. Again, my overarching thoughts are it's a pacing workout. You need to go in with a plan, right? Some kind of plan, whether it's a goal of rounds you think you want or the time you know you can keep per round and not blow up. Approach this workout in such a way that you're trying to lower your heart rate as much as possible, right? If you go in and go ham and your first round is 30 seconds and you try to keep it, probably not gonna happen, right? It's probably gonna blow up. I mean, this is a 20-minute workout. Like, this is a long stinking time, right? So again, double unders, if you don't have them, don't try them. 100 of them tonight, you're probably not gonna get it. Prepare for next open. Hand care, wear grips if you wear grips. I recommend it. I know I will. Protect your hands tonight. They're probably going to rip a little bit, possibly. I don't know if the guys ripped or not. I didn't actually stay to watch it. But overarching, pacing, and have a good time. I know it's going to be a fun workout to do tomorrow. It's probably a workout that you can probably redo probably twice. 3 times might be a little bit much in your hands, unless you do it tonight. If you do it tonight and then maybe Saturday and Monday, you can do it 3 times. I usually try to give it a day's rest, and I recommend that also to you guys. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Catch you guys later. See ya.